Video for Lucid Pesty. Lucid Pesty has been designed to help people fill out their pest advice report forms that's required in the pest control industry. So once you've gone in and activated Lucid Pesty on your account, you'll be able to find it in the menu account and then selecting add-ons. When you see that pop up, you'll see a lovely little spider and click on Lucid Pesty there, the icon, and this brings you into the app itself. From here, we're able to start to set up our settings within the app. So the first thing you will need to do is select settings and then upload your company logo, enter your company name and your company address, as well as your A number from the health department and the email address and things like that. Having a look, there is some default report templates that have been uploaded into this area. These templates do work off the docx file system that serviceM8 uses for its forms. So if you downloaded the current file and you wanted to make some changes, you would absolutely be able to do that and then re-upload those here if needed. So once you've entered in all of these details, you would then need to click save. The section here that refers to additional works, this is linked to commercial work only. So what the app has got is an area for the technicians to highlight that they might need an extra site visit or some extra works conducted on site. If that's the case, what will happen is that you will receive email notification to your inbox that that's been selected for that particular job. So you will need to fill out the notification email if that's something that you want to receive in your business, and then hit save. So having a look in the next section, it would be pests. So you would need to either select or create your own pest list, or your other option that you've got there is to initialize with the default pest list. So we're going to choose to initialize at this stage. That will just bring in some pre-filled settings. So you've got all of the main ones in here. So you've got your ants, your bed bugs, bees, birds, carpet beetle, earwigs, fleas, flies, spiders, termites, wasps. But if at any stage there's something missing that you wanted, you could then go and create your own pest. Having a look at these pre-filled ones, so we're looking at the ants, we can select the settings that will come across for each pest. So that is things like the withholding period on the service, how much aftercare period you offer, or warranty, some people would refer to that as, and then a description for what you do when you do these services. You can have individual settings for commercial and individual. So you can have different descriptions for a commercial setting. You could have a different withholding period and a different care period if it was being applied for a commercial type building. The next area we'll have a look in is the products. So again, this comes with a default list of products. If at any stage you need to add one, you can. You just go in and fill out all of the details and select how these products apply. So what they were used for, what type of product it is, the quantity type, and all of those details. It is important that you take the time to fill out all those areas for it to pre-fill properly for you. And then again, this is where you would add risks on site. So risks being things like people. You may also have pets or children, things like that. So as a solution for people might be to have a vacate time of 2 hours, for instance. And you would add that as a solution, and you can continue to add as many solutions for each risk as you would like. And these are going to come up as options within the app itself as you fill out that paperwork. Hygiene problems is also an area, works very similar to risks in that you can type in a hygiene problem area and then enter the solutions for those as well. And then we come down to PPE. So here we've got a default list of PPE that you may use on site. So your respirator obviously is quite common, your safety glasses, your impervious boots. You do have the options to add a PPE item if it's not in the list at all. And then we've got method of application. So this is for your products, and you would have noticed that when we were in the product section and you could edit a product, you had methods of application coming up that you needed to select during that process. If there's not one there that you need, adding it into the method of application area is how you would get that to pop up. So you would just simply type in the enter of method in the top box and then hit add, and that would then auto add it to that products area as well. Now here we have coming down to the pest control info area. So this is the details of the person that's going to complete the form. So when you're putting it on your master account, obviously you may not have details in this area, but then as each technician adds this to their serviceM8 account and sets it up, they're going to need to go in and complete this area so that it shows up on their forms. Okay, so that is the overall setup in your master account. Now we'll go through how this works in the app for your technicians on the road, and what we would need to do from there. So now we're going to jump across into the app and view what this looks like as a technician. So coming across here, we jump into Lucid, and you can see that it's pre-filled the client details. You can also see there your options to choose if it's an individual client or a commercial. So you'll remember back in the settings that this would change what was pre-filled in the text. Then in the commercial side of things, we've got this handy little section that is about additional work. So if there was additional works required on site, then you could select one of these options, and that will automatically send an email through to your office to notify them that some more work or follow-up is required on this particular job. So then jumping back across, so we'll change it to individual. You can see the job addresses come down into there automatically. Here you would select what pests you are treating. So for the purpose of today, we're going to go down and select rodents. So rodents automatically pops in a job description there, so you can see that's coming from the back end. You can jump in and edit that and add extra text if you like. And then scrolling down, you've got your treatment date, your start date and end time. These are all pulled from the job card. You can go in there and edit those as well if you want to. You would then select add product, and you would select your product options from the drop down, and obviously click the correct batch numbers and how you've entered or used the product, and then how much you've used on site. Fabulous. So now we've got that. That's automatically bought in our PPE. If you wanted to add PPE, you could, and then you would just hit save. And then again here you can select your risk. So in this case we're going to select dogs, and obviously what precautions we've taken to deal with those. You can also add your hygiene problems if you needed to. That works very similar to risks. And then you've got your weather. So you would need to select fetch, and the weather will be selected or fetched from that particular location on that particular date at that particular time. So even if you were to do your pest advice report or risk assessment a couple of days later, if you're a bit slack, it's still pulling the weather from the original day and time that you treated. Then in here you've got signature options, so your client can sign as well, and your signature will get pulled through from where you've done things. You do have the option to upload job photos, and then you would just hit submit. You do need to allow the pop-up for it to generate the PDF, and the PDF would pop up there so you can see the form's been done. Now we like to save this to our serviceMate job card, which you can do via the share function, it does also collect records in Lucid Pesty as well, so it just depends what your internal process is there. So jumping back in, we'll just show you as a technician, you can also access some of the settings if something was in here and you needed to add something and it wasn't there. So just like the user on the desktop, you've got the options to add your pest controller details, add the pest details, add an additional pest in there, different products, hygiene and risk solutions, and the method of application. So just remembering anything that you add in these areas, it does, change the database for everybody. So that's a joint database across the team. So that's Lucid Pesty there for you.